Hey guys, how have you been? I hope you've had a good couple of weeks. I've been definitely under the weather. It happens almost every time this year since I work at a big university where there are students. At Christmas time, all the students go home to their families. They share all their nice lovely germs, pick up some new ones, bring the new germs back to university, share with all of their friends, and then in between my interactions with the kids that work in the ticket office and our new intern, I got one of their germs shared with me. Not maliciously, I'm pretty sure, although you never know, germ warfare. Anyway, and I have just had a terrible, terrible cold, and so I didn't do a video last week because of the cold. You can probably hear my voice is still a little rough. I'm all congested up in here. When I try to hear the world, it sounds like I'm hearing things through like a pair of earmuffs, you know, the winter earmuffs, whatever. And so I'm like, not fun, not fun. So that's where I have been. I got to stay home for a long, long time. It wasn't fun at all. You know, three-day weekend. Everybody's thinking, woohoo, get out and do some stuff. No, I left work on Friday before the 3-day weekend, kind of feeling a little blah. Saturday I woke up and I was even more blah. Sunday I woke up and it was like, blah. Monday I was near dead in the water. And then I drug myself into work on Tuesday, got what absolutely had to be done, and went home. Missed work on Wednesday, went to work on Thursday, did what absolutely had to be done, then came home. Missed work on Friday, didn't leave the house Saturday or Sunday. I did go to work today. I'm feeling better. I don't sound it, and I still have the hacking cough, so there'll probably be cuts and edits and stuff to edit out the hacking awful cough. So, enough about me. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing a whole heck of a lot better than I am. Looks like everywhere in the country is getting snow or unusually cold weather. It's definitely being an interesting season, that is for sure. So, let's get started, shall we? Let's look at my progress report. Yay! So the last thing that you guys had seen that I was stitching on was the last of the 3 Little Words series that I have been working on. Forgive, move on, and think happy thoughts. And I finished this about a week or so ago. So here it is, all beautiful and lovely and finished. Well, that's a lie. Still need to sew on a button, but you know, I'll get around to it eventually. Maybe. So I really like the way this turned out. Cheerful, happy, you know, doing the things that we're trying to do to make life a better place for ourselves and everybody else. If you think happy thoughts, the happy thoughts will come to you. Or something like that. Anyway, so there that is. I used the called for Weeks Dye Works, and I think there was 1 Crescent Colors called for, plus the linen. It's a 28 count linen, and I did look it up. Finally, after being months and months of not being able to tell you exactly what my linen is, it is called a touch of blue. Just a touch of blue. And I think it's those people, their name that starts with a W. Wichelt linen. So there is that wonderful project. And then, since I have been home, not doing a whole lot of anything, on the days that I felt that I could stitch, I did stitch a little bit. And so I put in a little more work on Celtic Christmas. This is from Lavender and Lace. Popular pattern. I know that many of you have worked on her. And so here is where I'm at with her. I you know, just kind of filled in and was trying to make my way to done. I am missing this lightest yellow color. It is like, what, 38.23 or something, so I just need to get myself over to Joann's and pick up a skein of that one of these days when I remember to get over to Joann's and pick up a skein of floss. But let's see, I filled in all the gold in here, which was left to do the last time I spoke to you. Brought some of the skirt down here, filled in a lot of gold. I was just kind of trucking along. So she is really, really turning out quite well, and I'm really pleased with her. Really pleased with the way she's looking. And you guys also going to be proud of me because I looked up the name of this linen, and this is Nordic blue. I don't remember if it's a Zweigart or a Wichelt. I don't remember. But I did see the tag for it the other day, which is how I know what it is. Amazing! Yay! So, my new at-work lunch break project is this Lizzie Kate, Be Your Own Kind of Beautiful. I have actually stitched this before, and I stitched it on a 28 count Sprite from Picture This Plus. This time, I'm stitching it 1/2 on 40 count Bashful. Yeah, I think it's Bashful. Also, Picture This Plus linen, and it's turning out quite well. Really cute, super beautiful. I just love the way the one pink pops off of the fabric. Sometimes when I'm stitching my little lavender flowers, I think, well, those aren't going to stand out enough. But then when I step back and look at it, it's all right. And then the hazards of working on something and then going home and not working on it. But over here, there's like 6 little stitches where I did 2/2 on the 40 count. And then I realized, oh wait, I was doing 1/2 on the 40 count. And so I successfully tore out 1 stitch of those 6 stitches. And then thought, no, this is going to take too long. So I put that 1 stitch back in, tied off. So there are 6 stitches that have a little bit too much floss. But whatever. It's part of the charm of it. My goal for this is I'm going to stitch Shenanigans in April down in Chandler, Arizona. McKenna's fun, stitchy, I don't know what to expect. It's going to be crazy. Or it might not be crazy. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. Anyway, so it's part of a Stitch a Project, finish it, and there's going to be an exchange. I'm sure she meant for things to be finished far more creative on trivets and in clocks and things, but I think I'm probably just going to sew this into a project bag, which was part of the reason why I did it on such a small count of fabric, is I wanted to make sure it was a manageable size to sew into a project bag for the swappity swap giveaway thing. So there is that fun. What else? Just not a big stash acquisition, but the lovely and wonderful Bindi Stitchy Michelle Garrett. She sent along this beautiful pansy pattern to me. I love it. I did not have this one in my collection. In fact, funny story, I had ordered this pattern with a bunch of other patterns, about 5 or 6 patterns and books from one store on Etsy, and they sent 1 correct pattern and then like 3 incorrect patterns and then not the other half of the pattern. Like I got half of the pattern, and of the things that I ordered, only 1 was correct. So I messaged the seller trying to get it rectified and sorted out, and he straightened up and no response, and so I had to contact the folks at Etsy, and they tried to contact, you know, and all this thing. Long story short, I got my money back, and they had to shut down their store because they just never responded to anything. So, oopsie, but through the ways and the wiles of the world, I got a pansy pattern that I was looking for. So that's absolutely wonderful. So thank you very much, Michelle, for sending that off to me. I'm so excited. One of these days I'll get to stitch it along with everything else in these wonderful bookshelves of stashiness. So there you go. All right, I'm going to pause, reorganize all the wonderful things, and we will be right back. Oh, yarn! There hasn't been a lot of oh yarn this past 2 weeks because I'm sick, remember? Anyway, I did work a little bit on the Knitting Pure and Simple Mountain Cowl. I put in just 1 more repeat of the little V pattern. So you can see this is slowly growing, a little bit at a time. If I look it up, I only have 2 more repeats of the, you know, the little mountain V eyelet pattern to go until I am technically done with the pattern. I might see how I feel, maybe put it on a little bit longer of a cord, try it on, see if I like how it feels. I know I need to block it out just a little bit so the eyelets open up more. And I'm just in love with how the colors are pooling together. The cream and the pink and the grays. I just love it. And the yarn is just so squishy and soft, and it feels smooth in my hands, and I really am enjoying this project. The yarn is from Miss Babs. It is a DK weight. Yowza is the name of the skein, and I think that's just because it's like 600, 500. It's a lot of yarn on the skein, and the color is Cultured Pearl. So I'm really, really enjoying this one. Let's tuck that into its bag so it will not get furred on by the cat. She furs on everything. Okay, put that here. And then I worked quite a bit on my, what is this called? This is the Winter Brunch shawl, and the designer is Laura Chow, and I finished it, everybody. It is all done, and this is a monster, you guys. But I'm so pleased with how, let's go this way, there we are, how the lattice work turned out. It's just really quite nice and fun, and I love it. And I like the chunky weight yarn, and it's so heavy and bulky. It's done in that I have woven in all of the ends, and it needs to be blocked. It's just a little bit of a light block so that the lattice at the end behaves as it should. But I'm not really sure how to wear this or what to do with this thing, because if I wrap it around my neck in the way that I prefer to wear it, you know, something like this, it's a bit much. It's a bit much. So it will keep me warm and be wonderful. I love the yarn. It is K2, also a Miss Babs yarn. It is in the colorway Fountain Grass, but it's a little bit big. But I love it. I love this monster. So for now, I've just been wearing it more of a traditional shawl around the house when I'm just, you know, scooting around doing whatever, or sitting on the sofa or in my chair just stitching away, or for raid night, because where my computer is, it's kind of back in the corner where a window is. Well, my other computer, well, the gaming computer. Anyway, there's a draft back there and it gets a little bit cold. So that is what I have been working on this week. Anyway, so let's go with the wonderful yarny things that I bought. I was completely and totally, I don't know, I was watching yarn podcasts in addition to all of your podcasts, and somebody showed Daisy Girl bags, Daisy Girl Designs and Company, anyway. And so this is one of those that's meant to slip over your arm like this, so you can knit out of, and I keep trying to find just the perfect one for me, but the difference between knitters and stitchers, I think, is that knitters are more willing to stuff all their things into a slightly smaller bag, whereas I would prefer a slightly larger bag. I don't know if that's because I'm coming from the stitching world or what, because, well, I mean, to fit in here, I'd have to fold up my pattern quite a bit. The work is immaculate. Nothing wrong with the work. It's just when I read a description and it says it's X by X by X, that really doesn't mean anything to me. I mean, we may as well have switched to the metric system all those years ago. Those children of the 80s remember being in school, and we had lesson after lesson after lesson on converting from inches into centimeters, and everybody was telling us that soon we're going to go onto the metric system and all our temperatures were going to be in Celsius and the miles were going to be kilometers and everything, and it never happened. I remember spending a couple of years learning all that wonderful stuff back in the 80s in elementary school, and I don't know what happened. I bet it was politicians. 2 to 1, I bet it was politicians that said we're not going to do that. It'll cost too much money. But think of all the jobs that could have been created by converting the system. All those signs that had to be replaced, those are jobs. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. This is a super cute bag. Slightly smaller than what I had thought it would be. It will hold a thing of yarn, and that's about it. I don't know. I should stop buying things online, you guys. We all have realized that. I should just stop buying the bags because they're all slightly smaller than what I want them to be. The last Yarny Impulse buy item is this beautiful skein of yarn from Wendy's Wonders. She is on Etsy, and she does really, really long gradients. And so this one is a gradient from like a darker lavender purple on one end to kind of the darker teal on the other end, and it shades all the way through to kind of a pale cream in the middle, and then shades all the way out. I have a shawl pattern in mind that I think I want to do with it. It's one of the a square shawl pattern, so more like a scarf, I guess. Shawl, scarf, you know, a square instead of a triangle or a crescent or whatever. Anyway, so I think that'll be really quite beautiful. It's a super simple lace pattern. I think it'll show off both the yarn and the lace pretty well, since it's not a crazy busy yarn or a crazy busy sparkle. Sparkle? No, not sparkle. Dots. Splotches. What do they call those? Splatters? Heaven only knows. My brain's just out the door at this point in time. Can't even remember what I am talking about. So that's my yarny stuff. So I'm going to sort things around one more time, and we'll be right back. It's Flooby time! I'm slowly getting caught up on watching all of the new people to the fun Flosstube, fun and games. I said fun way too many times right there, but anyway, slowly getting caught up, so let's do a couple of introductions. I met Rachel of Rachel's Stitching Corner. She's a little bit new to cross stitch and starts us off with some of her finishes and whips. I met Goldfish LS. She's a multi-crafter, and she shares with us a whip parade, and she does a lot of crafting for her flea market booth. As many of you have already shouted out, Sassy Stitchin' Sisters and Brother, and they really are a charming group of young ones just starting in on the craft. Definitely worth a look, but I think everybody else is already watching them. Thoroughly enjoyed them. Although my poor brain really thinks that they should be sassy stitching siblings, and that takes care of the alliteration perfectly. So you got the sassy stitching siblings, and I know they do the and brother, and it's hilarious and beautiful and fantastic. So I know why they do it, but my brain can't handle it. Cross Stitch IL, she is primarily a Hade stitcher and loves very large projects. She is a stitcher from Israel and is very excited for a new LNS in her home city, and she's done several other videos. She does the dancing hand style, so go check her out. Southernmost Stitcher did a very quick video showing off some of her Christmas presents that she had stitched to give away. Then we have I wrote down Skylar, but I don't remember if it's really Skylark or not. But anyway, it'll be linked in the description box below and spelled out properly. But anyway, Skylar Stitcher. She is a Russian stitcher, speaking English for all of us. She shares some of her favorite whips and finishes, and she has done a couple more videos since her very first one. Next, I met Georgina Marie 95. She shares her whips and all of her plans for January. I met xstitching_leopard. He gives us a quick introduction and shares some of his whips with us. And then on the list of other people who I watched while I was at work, I watched a Stitchy Gamer, Ms. Izzy. She designs. She enjoys designing her own patterns, and she has been doing many Lizzie Kate stitches, so I enjoyed seeing her interpretation of the Lizzie Kate project, since, as you guys know, I stitch a lot of Lizzie Kate ones as well. Loves rubber stamps and needle crafts. I know a lot of you have shouted her out as well. Her first video is a fantastic whip parade, and she gives a lovely introduction to herself. Connie G. Barwick. I also know that several of you have shouted her out. She shows off her Stitch 9 challenge pieces and some of her Christmas haul. And then the last stitcher I'm going to introduce you to tonight is a thimble and twine stitcher, Robin. She loves kitting up projects and says she has way too many of them kitted up, so she's going to start stitching them all. So 2019, as I said, is the year for working on her, she calls them PEDs, projects in a drawer. So that was her goals for 2019. Most worthy goals, I would have to say. So those are all of our wonderful new Flubies on the year. Go check them out. As always, I'll put links in the description box below. News, notes, nonsense. As you guys can see, I've been working on putting Christmas away up there. A little bit of Christmas will stay up all year long since it is my favorite season. I got down Mr. Coyote over here just to give him a bit of a dust. I should tell you the story of Mr. Coyote. So Mr. Coyote has been with me for 30 some odd years. In 88, 89, my family went to Albuquerque for a year while my dad was on sabbatical leave. And he was working at a place down in Albuquerque. Anyway, so my mom is a quilter, and she quilts and enters, and at the time she was a competitive quilter, you know, doing the beautiful designs, entering them in shows, blah, blah, blah. So Mr. Coyote back there, it was actually a win at one of the quilt shows that she entered while she was down in Albuquerque. And he's 30 years old, and he goes along with me wherever I go. I finally remembered to dig him out of my parents' basement the other day and bring him back home. He's wearing a collar that's like a cat collar for Christmas that has light-up lights in him. And I just love Mr. Coyote. He's so tacky and so 80s and so silly. But I love Mr. Coyote. So there he is. I'm gonna go put him out in the living room next to the TVs because why not? What next? So my car is 11 years old. She's doing really good. I'm taking good care of her. But about a year ago, the dome light burned out. And so I suffered through half of winter and all of the summer without the dome light. And it's really obnoxious because the parking lights in the parking lot don't turn on because of our crazy HOA lady burning her bridges with the former management company. Anyway, so I finally got on YouTube. I, Googled my car make and model, how to replace the dome light, watched a couple of videos, got on Amazon, searched for the part number, found the part number that's now manufactured in an LED version instead of your standard incandescent version. So I ordered me a couple of those, for $250 for two of them. Big spender right there. Thank you, Amazon. And went out, and in the matter of like 5-7 minutes had completely replaced my light. Popped out just like the video said, popped the new one in, and it's like noon. The bright noonday sun glowing inside my car. Ah! It's beautiful. That's supposed to be Heavenly Angels. Ah! I mean, that's more Heavenly Angels instead of Crazy Kara. Anyway, so I accomplished that in the week before I got sick, and it's fantastic. Love it. So there you go. Amazon and YouTube for the win on fixing that little thing. I already told you about the students coming back and I'm sick. I will also add that why is there not a cough syrup that doesn't taste just nasty as nasty can be? Robitussin, blah. NyQuil, blah. The Mucinex stuff, ugh, really, I know why it's nasty. It's so kids don't drink it and poison themselves. But please, there has got to be an adult version somewhere that just doesn't make you want to gag when you're trying to take your cough medicine. Random rant. I know why, I'm just not happy with why. Okay, fantastic mail. The wonderful, fantastic Erica contacted me and asked me if I would give a home to several of her wonderful Cricut cartridges. since I am doing bulletin boards for my Relief Society for my church calling. And I said, oh yes, I would love those. And so as you can see, she has sent them along. A couple of Disney titles, and then Happy Hauntings. I have to say have been really close to buying this Happy Haunting one several times. So I'm just as pleased as punch with these. They arrived safe and sound, Erica. Thank you so very, very much. I'm really excited. Plus, she sent along some of the fun thread drops that she said she cut out with her Cricut, so I'm sure if I did the research, I could figure out exactly which Cricut cartridge or shape or thingy. There's so many to choose from. I can make my own thread drops, so that's plus a fantastic card. Thank you so much, Erica. I need to respond to you in more than video form to thank you for your generosity. I'm really excited to have those, and they have arrived safe and sound. All right, I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to be in Vegas in February. It is the 15th, 16th, and 17th. It's the same weekend as President's Day, but we won't be staying President's Day Monday. My best friend, her daughter, and her daughter's boyfriend, significant other, whatever you want to call him. Anyway, their favorite band, the daughter and boyfriend, is coming to Vegas. And they're really excited, so they want to go down and see the band. And my best friend had to go, and she's like, well, I don't want to go alone. Do you want to go? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll come along. So I'm looking forward to going down there and puttering around, and we're going to go to Retro Bakery and buy me some cupcakes, and then I'm going to go to Stitcher's Paradise and wander around and look at their fabulous wall of all the fantastic, wonderful, amazing things, linens, fabrics, and pet all the wonderful patterns, and just look at everything because it's a fantastic shop. I've only been in their email system since like 2007, so it's a fun store. And then I'm going to go check out Sin City Knit Shop as well, see how they are. I don't know anything about them. It could be a big fantastic find, or it could be a complete bust. You never know. So I'm going to go check those guys out. I'm really looking forward to a little tiny bit of away time. Okay, and the last little thing is WoW, World of Warcraft. I've been playing a lot for the past week or so. I belong to an online group, ARD. I know I've mentioned them before, but not all of you have been watching forever. But it's basically a group of ragtag bros who decided that they didn't like any of the toxicity or chest thumping, I'm better than you are, nonsense that they had found in LFR and trying to raid and pugs and, just trying to play the game and play at, the raids, which is the end game of the game. And so they banded together. There's a Discord. There's a bajillion people. I've made friends with a couple of them. My guys, the Roll Initiative people who I told you about a couple weeks ago. They're still doing fantastic videos. Go check them out. Anyway, so a bunch of Ardians, however you want to call them, decided to put together a 1 night a week normal and heroic only raiding group. I was like, that sounds perfect. Sign me up, because I have no interest in stepping into Mythic, which is the highest, hardest level of raiding. Just normal and heroic is, easy mode and medium mode. And that's about all I can handle, and I'm fine with that. I'm 45. I can't think of all the things. My reactions are not that great. I die a lot, but I try. Which is different than being a try-hard, because a try-hard is not good. A trier and a learner is good. Make any sense? Absolutely not? That's fine. That's fine. I feel a cough. We're going to pause. Wouldn't it be amazing if cough breaks were as fun as dance breaks? They're not. Anyway, so I joined this group. We run 1 night a week. We went to our initial raid, very, very new raid that has dropped. The Battle for the Pink City. I can't pronounce it. I'm not even going to try. I'm sure some of you know and are shouting it at me, but anyway. So initial run, of the new raid. We went 6 for 9 on normal, and the first 3 fights, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, just really straightforward fights. Just remember what's going on, don't stand in the bad. Easy, murder the things. Liked it, really much fun. The next 3 were a little more interesting in the mechanical details that were going on, what you have to do. The first one, Opulence, not too hard. You just kind of have to time it as you go along. That was pretty good. And then Aspects of the Loa, that was a fun one. There's so much stuff going on. It was just an absolute mess. I think we tried it 3 times before we finally successfully got through it. I managed to live to the end on that one. Yay me. Really fantastic thing. And then the last fight that we managed to clear on the night is you're battling King Rastakhan, who's, the king of the Horde City. So the story is the Alliance invades the Horde City and, goes through and kills the king and blah, 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 yakety schmackety, whatever. You don't care. Anyway, the King Rastakhan fight is a whole mess of everything going on. I mean, there's just stuff going left, right, upside down, forwards and backwards on normal. There's like 4 things that you have to keep track of. There's toads. You don't get hit by the hopping toads. And then in the next stage, there's like death portals. So death portals open up between the living realm and the death realm. That's great. So now you have to avoid death portals because some people are not smart enough to know that they've got that aura on them and to run it to the side of the room. Now that the death portals are up, there's stuff coming out of the death portals that'll take you down if you get hit by them. So there's like death pools, orbs roaming around. Plus, there's a mechanic that comes down and you have to stand in the circle to soak it up to dispel raid-wide damage. It's an absolute nutso fight. So much stuff going on. I made it almost to the end of the fight, but I did finally die to like a death orb. I think it was finally got me. But I wasn't contributing much to DPS at that point in time because there was so much stuff on the floor, and my class, I need to be standing still to cast, but I couldn't stand still because there's so much stuff on the... It was crazy, guys. Absolutely nuts. But it was fun. I had a great time with my crew. They're funny guys and gals. And they aren't as crude, absolutely foul-mouthed and crude as some of the other groups that I've run with. So I'm really hopeful and looking forward to maybe this is going to be a good bunch that I can hang out with, more long-term and actually see content. So that's World of Warcraft, Adventures of the Battle Cow, right there. We're going to do another cough break. Not as fun as a dance break, but it's going to happen anyway. So that's everything that I can remember to talk to you guys about. I know that there was more stuff, but I didn't write it down. So if it's not written down, it's not going to happen. I hope you guys are doing okay. Remember, 1 step forward, 1 step up. You don't have to hang out in the darkness forever. Along with a reminder that the world doesn't owe you anything, and it's up to you to get you out of the depression and the doldrums and the stuff. So go see that therapist if you can. Just get out and get going, which I know is sort of trite advice and not entirely super helpful, but I have found when I do get out and do stuff that I feel a lot better. I'm so glad that I'm not as deathly ill as I was at the beginning of the week and all of last week, because it's going to be nice to see my those people that I work, my co-workers, and listen to them and go a few places. And the sun is finally shining long enough that I actually get to see it when I leave work at night. Yay! We've only got like the rest of January and February, and then pretty soon March is going to roll through and we spring forward again. I hate the spring forward, but I am looking forward to seeing the sunshine a lot more. So that's something to look forward to. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing okay. I hope you guys get a lot of your stitchy time. Enough time to craft and stitch and sew and do the things that you love to do and do the things that just warm your soul and feed your heart. Remember, kindness costs you nothing, and the world certainly needs a lot more of it. There was something else. I might cut out while I'm staring here at the wall trying to figure out what I wanted to say. Well, whatever it was, it's gone now. So thank you to all of my subscribers, for those of you who have been in here for the long haul, and for all of you who have just stumbled into my little flavor of Crazy Town. Thank you for all of the likes and for all of the comments. I'm doing my best to get back to you in a timely manner. I'm scattered. My brain is just really scattered. I'll go from one room to the next, and I'll get into the next room, and I will forget what I am thereafter. You know, pondering the hereafter. I hope you guys get to stitch. I hope that frog stays far, far away from you. Hugs and stitches, everybody. Bye.